This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So, although Donald Trump is trying to put on the strong and brave face for MAGA world that he is their champion, he's standing in the gap because if not for him being there, the slings and arrows of the federal government would be aimed squarely on them, as though they have hundreds of code word level top secret documents in their bathtub, in their resort home, as though they, many of them did, attempted to overthrow the United States government by way of overturning a free and fair election that culminated in an actual physical violent attack on the United States Capitol. Over 1,000 of them did. Over 1,000 of them have been either charged or pleaded guilty or found guilty by a jury of their peers. So yeah, maybe in that case. But Donald Trump is afraid. And Donald Trump is now appealing via social media, via Truth Social, appealing to the United States Supreme Court to, what's the word he used? Intercede on his behalf. Again, Donald Trump has a woefully elementary understanding of our Constitution and how the government works, how the three prongs of government, the branches of government work. He thinks that the Supreme Court apparently can take it upon itself to inject its rulings without having a case brought before it. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to read this post on Truth Social, but then I'm going to play a clip from Kari Lake, the loser conspiracy theory nut who lost her election in Arizona, who's now vying to be named Donald Trump's vice presidential pick. That's what I contend. And she is saying that what we need to do is go back and decertify the election now and then just reinsert Donald Trump as president. So it is a springboard. It's a whack-a-mole of dumb shits and dumb shit ideas that are being brought forth by an ex-president and a wannabe governor who really have captured the imaginations and the minds of MAGA world in a huge way. Here's the post from Truth Social. Crazy, he says. My political opponent has hit me with a barrage of weak lawsuits, including DA, District Attorney, and Attorney General, and others, which require massive amounts of my time and money to adjudicate. A couple things. If you're a political opponent, do you think your political opponent is controlling Fani Willis and Alvin Bragg? Is that what you're asserting, Donald Trump? Because Fani Willis and Alvin Bragg seem pretty independent to me. They don't seem to be having their strings pulled like you pull the strings of Republicans. Again, every accusation is but a confession. And it is not your money that you're spending on your legal defense. Your campaign money is not your money. It is donated to you by hardworking Americans, wrong as they might be about politics or democracy or a host of other issues. It is their money that they've donated. It is not your money. Now I will continue. Resources that would have gone into ads and rallies will now have to be spent fighting these radical left thugs in numerous courts throughout the country with a capital C for some reason. I am leading in all the polls with a capital P for some reason, including against Crooked Joe. But this is not a level playing field. It is election interference, both capitalized words for some reason, and the Supreme Court must intercede. MAGA! With an exclamation point. What does Donald Trump expect the Supreme Court to do? Is this a precursor to them bringing a case before the Supreme Court? Not bringing it through the normal course of appeals, the appellate system in the United States? I mean, that certainly seems to be the way of the world for these idiots, including Kari Lake, who is now going on Newsmax and talking about decertifying an election that happened almost 3 years ago, with the ultimate goal, of course, of reinserting through wildly extra constitutional means, reinserting Donald Trump back into the White House, I guess, to finish the term that he didn't get a chance. Like, what? How does any of this work? They never say that, but MAGA world is convinced that it's a possibility. Watch Kari Lake.
This is a guy who's already won. He won in 2016. He won even bigger in 2020. All that January 6th was a staged riot to cover up the fact that they certified a fraudulent election. And I agree with a lot of what Kash said about impeachment. If we just go back and deal with this fraudulent election and what happened in 2020, we don't have to impeach him because he really isn't, in my opinion, and many others, and you look at the evidence, the true president. Why don't we decertify 2020?
So if Joe Biden is not the true president and you decertify his win, naturally, what she's talking about would be inserting Donald Trump as president of the United States. One, there is no mechanism whatsoever in this document that conservatives claim to understand and claim to revere. There is no mechanism by which that can take place, not should take place, even can take place. It's not a possibility. Not even talking about the fact that Joe Biden won by 7+ million votes in 2020. He won. Handily, he won. That over 60 cases, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I mean, Donald Trump lost. He lost. In grand fashion, he lost. You can't expect someone who can't poll over 32% approval ratings to win in the fashion that they think he won. Donald Trump is on the record or in these documents as telling people that he won every single state in the union. Donald Trump believes or at least he stated to people that he won Massachusetts and California. Oh, come on. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. What is the plan here? I mean, I don't believe that they are only like, well, we'll just see how the court cases go. I think that there are machinations at play behind the scenes to upend and disrupt our system once again, whether that be through violence, which I think is very possible, but also through legal and otherwise means, through propaganda, everything. What's your take on this? You can leave a comment below. Have a conversation in the comments. You can also call and leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. If you appreciate my work, if I bring you value, whether that be a smile or information or whatever. It's the end of the week. I'm so tired. Please consider supporting my work. Click the join button below. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Click that super thanks button below or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt-podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.